Hi everyone, and welcome to the ultimate temporary tattoo test. Convention, cosplay, and budget friendly. And since this is a scientific video and this is a scientific study, we're obviously going to write down all of our results on a very scientific Excel sheet.
I am math scientist. It's so cool.
Now let's get right into it. I found this really fun article about temporary tattoos and how to do them at home. And since I was looking for a way to do the tattoos on my Jibber cosplay, I figured, hey, why not test out different methods and see which one is the best, which one is the cheapest, the fastest, whatever. So I am going to use this sandwich paper technique with different appliances, with different pencils and things like that. And then I am also going to use what I wanted to use in the first place, which is the eyeshadow technique, and also just directly painting on myself with markers. So let's get right into it. So first of all, we are going to use these things that I saw online with this sandwich paper. What's important to remember is that you have to mirror your designs. So if you're hand painting, it's not that bad, or if it's symmetrical, it also doesn't matter. But if you're doing something asymmetrical, you need to mirror it and before painting it down. So I am starting with sandwich paper and alcohol-based markers. In my case, those are touch twin markers, but any alcohol-based markers should function more or less the same. So you could also use Copics or whatever. To keep this fair and easily distinguishable and checkable how well it works, I am using the same shape for every single piece. Except for the directly painting on and the eyeshadow, simply because I actually recorded them differently and added them a lot later than the rest. I am also writing a little letter next to it so that I can remember easily which one belongs to which. So now that the touch twin marker is done, we are going in with the eddings. Now edding are very common, so I think a lot of you do have them at home, unlike the alcohol-based markers, which you may or may not have. I'm also using different colors. I didn't just want to try out black, although the tutorial I found online was very specific about using black and only the color black. But I've decided to go a little bit wild. I'll try out a little bit of pink, a little bit of black, a little bit of everything. And the edding gets the letter E for edding, obviously. Next up is the waterproof eyeliner. Now it's very important that it's waterproof eyeliner, and this is also actually the thing they described in the tutorial itself. But I figured I wanted to try it with the other pencils and touch-in markers and eddings as well, since they're also waterproof, and I figured might be easier to paint with, and also are available in more different colors, unlike eyeliner, which is usually just available in black. But I did actually find a purple one, which is exactly what you can see here. I'm using the black and purple eyeliner for the next piece. This one actually gets written with LI, which stands for liner, because I realized I can't use E, because that's already reserved for edding. And you can also see here that I'm mirroring my letters. And the last one I'm using with the sandwich paper is the pencils. Now I'm just using regular pencils that you can find everywhere for no money at all. And the black part is actually not pencil, but fine liner. So it's basically fine liner mixed with pencils. But it's also just school fine liner I used for school. So it's not like a fancy brand or anything like that. And obviously, the pencils get the letter P. Now, just like with your usual temporary tattoos that you can put on yourself with water, during childhood especially, you may remember that. I feel so old saying that. You cut them out. I actually did round the edges, just that it sticks better to myself. And here you can see how this is going to go. Now again, we have the attachment markers, we have the eddings, we have the liner, and we have the pencils. What you want to do before applying them is to clean off your skin. I am using this makeup remover water just to clean off my skin, get rid of the oils, and make sure that everything is smooth and there are no residues of anything. Now I do advise you to put a towel underneath you. I didn't do that at first and spilled water everywhere. But now it's just applying it like those childhood tattoos, with putting it on your skin, dapping a towel in water, and then just pressuring your skin and the tattoo with said water, and just pushing it on and pressing it on. Use more than enough water. You can't use too much water. As you can see here, I was low-key struggling to push this on and not make a huge mess. So yeah, put a towel underneath your arm. And then you can carefully peel it off and you have your tattoo. Now, I'm pretty sure if I've had used more water or if I pushed it on more intensely, it would have probably turned out better. But for a first try, I think that's fine. I also damped my skin before putting on the tattoo, just so that it's a little bit easier to stick it on. So yeah, I am doing the same thing with every single one of those little papers, and I'll see you once that's done. So after putting it on and getting rid of the excess water, I am using baby powder, or I am actually using Crayola makeup powder to set it. The tutorial does say baby powder, but I actually don't have baby powder at home. This is also your first look at it. To make sure that it's holding up even better, I also went over it with Crayola fixing spray. Now this isn't mentioned in the tutorial I followed, but I actually just really like using this fixing spray because it holds up all of my makeup every time, and I figured it can't hurt to put this on the tattoos as well. Also, don't use hairspray. I did use hairspray on one of them, and it just fell apart. It started to get really weirdly, like, sticky, and it dissolved. Like, the paint dissolved. So don't use hairspray. If you use anything, use makeup fixing spray. So after all the tattoos were done with the water, I decided to go in and try to just paint on my skin directly. So here I am using the alcohol-based markers, the touchscreen markers again, and just draw on my skin directly. And we're going to use the fixing powder again, and then we're also going to use the Crayola spray again. And this is the first look of directly painting on it. As you can see, it's a lot sharper and clearer than if you just do it with the sandwich paper. And now to my favorite technique, the thing I've used so far for all temporary and fake tattoos, which is the eyeshadow technique. This is basically my go-to for anything tattoo-like, but I wanted to try out the other things as well, just to see if maybe it's easier or faster or cheaper, who knows. So I'm taking out a foil, which I use as stencil. In this case, I just use these plastic sheets that you usually put like paper or documents in it if you want to keep them safe and dry. And I'm cutting up my shape with normal scissors. I freehanded this one because it didn't really matter, but in another tutorial, which is following this one, I'll show you how I do this for actual cosplay. So I'm taping this down, I am taking my sponge, and then I'm just pushing the eyeshadow on my arm. And if it's finished, or if you don't like the finish, or for details that are a little bit finer, you can also go in with one of these little eyeshadow brushes, of these applicators, I think the name is, and just push it on, and yeah. Then you can peel off the stencil, and we're going in with the fixing powder again, just pushing that on real nice. And then we're also going to use the fixing spray for makeup again. As you can see on my table, this also does kind of do a mess. So I'll advise you, if you do anything at all, please use paper or a towel, or maybe like old magazines, whatever, underneath to not get everything dirty or full of powder. So here's the first look. So now that we've done with the first step, which is the price on hand, easy to apply and first look thing, I am going to give out the points. Now, you've already seen this comparison chart really quick, but I'm going to go a little bit more in depth now. So we do have our different methods, and the so SVP stands for sandwich paper. I thought I needed to kind of differentiate that from the direct applications. So we have alcohol markers, adding eyeliner, pencil, alcohol markers directly, and the eyeshadow. Now, the scale goes from 1 to 6 because there are 6 different techniques. 1 is the worst and 6 is the best. And in the end, there's going to be the points, and we'll see which one works best. Obviously, you can use another technique if you feel like this works better for what you want to do, or what's important for you, which is also why I'm pointing all the points out right here. So, for the price, the alcohol markers are the most expensive. And since you need sandwich paper and alcohol markers, I put this at the first place, which is last, basically. The least amount of points. On hand, I'm not sure. I did have mine at hand because I paint a lot and draw a lot with alcohol-based markers, but it's not something you usually just have laying around if you don't specifically use these types of things. Easy to apply. I found it super easy to put on. It's just painting, which is very easy with these markers, and then putting it on my arm. I didn't need to paint over it twice or anything. I could just put it on my arm and be done with it. And the first look, I gotta say, for first try, it was fine. It's obviously not perfect, but I'm also sure if you give it more time or more water or paint over it again, it could look really good, because you could already see the shape very well from this first try. Now for the addings, price, addings are super cheap. That's it. Addings are cheap. Great. There's also on hand. Usually you do have at least like a black and red edding at home. At least so far I've always seen people have edding somewhere, so that's that. Easy to apply. It's a little bit harder than the alcohol markers because you need to go over the eddings twice to make sure that they are very visible. And first day look, as you can see, it wasn't super good. You couldn't see really well beyond the black color. Eyeliner price in the middle. Eyeliner's not super cheap, but it's also not the most expensive thing. But you usually do have a black one at hand. I did put it at 3 because while you do have waterproof eyeliner at home most of the time, you usually only have it in black, and if you want any other color, you would need to go out and buy it. It's also not that easy to apply because painting with these little eyeliner brushes is very annoying and very hard, and didn't like it at all. And the first look, I think especially the black looks pretty good, but again, it's not great, but it's not terrible. For the pencils price, it's the best price you can get. Pencils and pencils cost basically nothing, and they're available in every single color. You usually have some at home. They're also okay to apply. Just like with the edding, you need to go over it multiple times, and you need to make sure that you make very little strokes, because else your strokes will be visible. But yeah. However, first look, you could barely see anything. It was off to a bad start with that one. Then we have the alcohol markers, which are at place 2, just because you need sandwich paper and alcohol markers for the other thing, which are 2 things, which is more expensive than just the markers. You're also, again, less likely to just have them at home, but they're very easy to apply. It was the easiest thing to just paint on my skin directly, and it looked great. It had the most color, the most vibrancy, and yeah, I just really liked the way it looked. And then for the eyeshadow, the price is fine. Could be better, could be worse, whatever. On hand, also, you usually have some base colors of eyeshadow at home. You might need to go and buy one more or your exact shade, but eyeshadow is usually available in like every single color imaginable. They also come with glitter and all of that, although I don't know if glitter would actually work with this technique, but anyway. Easy to apply. It needs the most preparation, which is why it's 1 point. You need the most preparation, and you need the most work, and you need to be very careful while using your sponge and your applicator to not smudge it or otherwise touch it. But the first look, I really like it. Again, this is what I usually do or have done always so far. But yeah, I really like the way it looks. It's sharp, it's nice, and it's very bright and intense in color. So you can't really see it here because I didn't really do a video, but I did wear it like this for a whole normal day, or rather for a morning, going out and going to eat and all that, and coming back home in the evening. I've also done my point system for just one day, first day, and what the vibe is. So yeah, but that's also calculated in with the other things already. Then we come to the fun thing, which is the fabric rub. As you can see, when rubbing against fabric, some of these technique holds better and some of them hold worse. So I just go ahead and show you and tell you a little bit about that. So we're starting off with the touch tool markers. And what do we have? Almost nothing. Barely anything rubbed off while rubbing it against this towel. Just very good. Very made sure to record it again just to check. But yeah, there wasn't really any residue. There was a little strip of purple, but barely noticeable. And then we head over to the editing. Woo! So here we're doing the pencil. And the pencil really rubbed off a lot. You cannot see it on my arm, but you can see it on the towel. There's this big black residue from rubbing it against the fabric. Now for the liner, for the eyeliner, it's almost completely gone again, which is crazy because this was supposed to be the technique. But yeah, as you can see, it's pretty smudgy on my towel. Now we're going on directly on the marker. Direct applied. And you may be able to guess what's going to happen. Yeah. It rubbed off extremely well. This poor towel has a huge purple and orange strip on it now. It's fine. I can wash it out, but still, this went really bad. The color just came right off. It's not that bad if you just dab it, but if you really rub it, no chance. And now, last but not least, we are going to use the same thing on the eyeshadow. I actually didn't use a towel here, but like these kitchen towel paper thingies. As you can see, it still looks great here, but it actually did rub quite a bit off to the paper towel. If you question why I didn't use the fabric towel for this, I forgot. I already put it in the washer and was like, oh, there's one missing. So yeah, but anyway, as you can see, I really rubbed the paper towel on it as well. I think it still looks fine, but it did rub off quite a bit of color there. And here you can see the ranking for each individual technique I used. And now to a really fun part. So I figured I want to simulate the kind of stress and sweat it would go under if you were at a convention, at a sweaty, hot summer convention where it's like, I don't know, 40 degrees outside, you're dying of heat stroke, but you have your tattoos and you want them to hold. Now, I couldn't do that, obviously. So I did something else. I played Just Dance for maybe 2 hours, I don't know. In the background you can see some little cutouts of me dancing and completely destroying the dance floor. Thank you very much. Probably without music, because they'll probably get claimed. But anyway. So I danced like 2 hours and sweated like crazy. But I think I got a pretty good ratio to what you would usually get if you were at a convention. Also, I actually love conventions that have Just Dance, Dance Revolution, or anything like that. I think it's so fun, especially to do those in cosplay. But anyway, As you can see here, my face is red as a tomato, I am sweaty, I am so done with everything. I am hot, but as you can see, the edding did not pass the sweat check. The touch tool marker, oh, that actually wasn't bothered at all, just like the eyeshadow. Didn't really bother the sweat or rolling down on the floor or dancing like crazy. The liner, yeah, and pencil, they were never my favorites. The pencil actually looks the same as before dancing, but here we have it. The direct appliance onto my skin after sweating and dancing, it's going away. It's fleeting. It's fleeing my arms. The sweat really did its thing to the touch tool marker directly on my skin. And here you have some detail shots while I show you the way I gave out the points. Now last but not least was the shower test. Now the shower really was the final boss, the final test. Because as you can see here, the edding's gone, the liner is basically gone, the pencil disappeared, and yeah, the edding with sandwich paper is still a little bit visible. The touch tool marker directly on skin, still a little bit here, and the eyeshadow is just like a rough shape you can still see. So while I give out my points, here are some more detail shots of basically nothing. It looks more like bruises than anything else. It's a little bit sad. Also, don't mind me looking weird and posing weird for these photos. It was really hard getting the angles and the camera to stay on the focus of what I wanted to show it. But yeah, as you can see, we have a winner, and that winner is my favorite technique. It's the eyeshadow one. It's hard to apply. It's really not that easy to get everything ready and started, but once you have that, it's just the best one, I think, personally. Also, again, I am going to give you a part 2 on the eyeshadow technique, specifically for my Ghibli cosplay. So, what else can I say? I really like the sandwich paper and alcohol markers. I think if you do this for like a child's birthday or like a birthday party, that would also be really fun. You could just do them with the alcohol markers and water and apply it like you would usually for these children tattoos. The sandwich paper and alcohol markers are a great second choice, especially if you don't want to go through all the struggle of the eyeshadow one. Or if you don't need it to hold your sweat and shower. And if you just want something easy to apply that holds for a few hours and looks great and fun. So, this is it for me. I hope you could learn something. I hope I could help you. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye!